Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome again to another episode of Fully Tilted, where we play control decks in MTG Arena's best of one format. If you're new to the channel, think about hitting that subscribe button, and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at, as always, another control deck. This one, mono-colored. So in the past couple plays, we've been taking a look at some multicolor control decks, 2-color, 3-color control decks, and today I want to take a look at a monocolor control deck. Alright, so I actually need to make some changes to this list. I haven't updated it since I updated it online, so we'll go in and update this. So we need to take out, I'm going to keep the dead weights, we're going to take out 2 Discovery Dispersal, put in Azor's Gateway, and we're going to take out Demon Lord and put in Josu. There we go. Alright, so here's the deck, right? We have a mono black control deck. We're running 3 dead weight as kind of early removal, and this also helps us remove a Danto Vanguard, which has been making a huge splash in the arena recently due to the notoriety of the mono white aggro or white splash red aggro decks. Running 2 cast down to help us remove some larger creatures, 3 Moment of Cravings, again against the Danto Vanguard, and it helps us gain life, which against aggro can be a huge deal. Running 2 Azor's Gateway, this can help us filter our hand filter and draw more cards. Plus, if we get to flip it, then we can use it to kick a Josu Vest, which is basically game ending. Running 4 Treasure Map, again to help us kind of filter our draws, and once we flip it, we can keep the treasures and combine it with Karn, that you'll see later on, to have a game ender at that point as well. Running 3 Never Happened. Mono black has some difficulty against a couple different things, especially enchantments, artifacts, and things of that nature. And so Never Happened can help us kind of remove those things from people's hands. Plus, it can hit early things such as Carnage Tyrant and exile it so stuff like Golgari can't get it back. Not only that, but you can exile cards from players' graveyards, so even if they have nothing in their hand against Golgari, you can exile things in their graveyard so they can't find Broker at Eldest Reborn, find Finality, and get it back. Running 2 Josu Vest, this is basically our finisher, right? So we never want to play Josu on turn 4. What we want to do is we want to kick it on turn 10 or with at least 10 mana and produce the 8/2/2 black zombie tokens with Menace. Basically, if we can kick Josu, it shows 20 damage on the board the turn after it's kicked. So while it's not immediate value, if you can hold off once you've controlled the board and kind of strip their hand, kick a Josu, let it sit a turn, and then basically swing in, winning the game. Running 3 Ritual of Soot, and this is our sweeper. Black does have access to another sweeper in Golden Demise, which is a turn earlier, but it only removes anything with up to 2 toughness. And in this meta, it can be a little tough, right? So anything beyond like mono red aggro or kind of mono white aggro is going to have creatures that are higher than 2 toughness. Even a Seeker Squire, if it hits anything but a land, is going to be above 3 toughness. And so Golden Demise can be a little iffy at times, and so I think Ritual of Soot's just a better card overall, although we may end up dropping the 3 Never Happened and putting in Golden Demise if we feel like that's kind of, you know, what we're going to be playing against a little bit more. Running 3 Vraska's Contempt, this helps us remove Planeswalkers, helps us remove large creatures, helps us gain life, and exiles against Golgari, so it's pretty much awesome in every way, shape, or form. Running 2 Karn, Karn will help us draw cards, help us get cards, and help us create colorless construct artifacts, which with Azor's Gateway, Treasure Maps, we've got a bunch of artifacts, and can actually win the game with Karn's artifacts. Running 4 Doom Whisperer, another finisher. Flying Trample, 6/6 for 5, automatically is great stats to begin with, plus we can pay 2 life and Surveil 2. That helps us kind of filter our draws. With Doom Whisperer, most of the times it dies, right? It'll die to a lot of things, but that's okay, because we can always get it back with Eldest Reborn. Running 3 Eldest Reborn helps us remove kind of those tricky creatures on the field, or even Planeswalkers. It makes our opponent discard a card, and then we get to get something back. So let's say we're playing against Golgari, they have a Carnage Tyrant, we play Eldest Reborn. If it can stay on the field, we can actually get that Carnage Tyrant back for ourselves. Our mono base is a little weird because we're playing mono black, we're stretching it just a little bit. We're going to be running 3 Cabal Stronghold. Now, Cabal Stronghold is an interesting card in the fact that it doesn't tap for black mana on its own, and it's really only good after turn, I think it's 6. So that's why we're only running 3. And honestly, it might be better to actually run 2, especially if we're running 2 Azor's Gateways. So let's drop one of those. We're going to drop 1 Swamp, and we're actually going to put in 2 Memorial to Folly. Alright, so 2 Cabal Stronghold, 2 Memorial to Folly, and we're running the Memorial to Folly. Even though it enters tapped, it can get us back creatures. So let's say for some reason we have to pitch a Josu, we get it back. Let's say we have to pitch a Doom Whisper or it dies, we get it back. And so that's really why we're playing Memorial to Folly. Playing 19 Swamps and 1 Arch of Vraska, and the Arch, again, later on down the game helps us draw cards. To say that Mono Black Control is a grindy deck would probably be a huge understatement. Like, it's super grindy. Like, the whole point is just to literally just outgrind your opponent until you can finally land something and then take it home. For those of you that are new to the game and you're looking at what to kind of craft first, Deadweight's usually a good card in anything that runs black for control. Cast Down and Moment of Craving also on the same playing field. Treasure Map, however, is awesome in multiple decks, pretty much any control deck not running blue, so I definitely think you should craft those first. Ritual of Soot, again, any black deck needs a sweeper, and Ritual of Soot's a pretty decent sweeper. Vraska's Contempt is awesome, so definitely craft those. Karn is great and basically is a planeswalker that can go into any deck. I've even seen Karn appear in Golgari decks. Doom Whisper is good and does see play across multiple decks. And Eldest Reborn is amazing and definitely sees play in Golgari. So if I had to tell you what to craft first, Vraska's Contempt, Ritual of Soot, Eldest Reborn. Those are the cards that you want to craft first, followed by probably Doom Whisperer, Karn, Treasure Map, and then the early removal suite. As far as like these cards down here, Field of Ruin, always craft. Arch is really good. Cabal Stronghold really will only see play in this deck, and Memorial to Folly will kind of see play in a couple decks, but it's only an uncommon, so it should be pretty easy to craft. So that's it for the deck tech, guys. We're going to jump into a quick Constructor League and see how it does. Alright, so we get to go first. We have 3 Swamps, Deadweight, Cast Down, Moment of Craving, and Vraska's Contempt. We literally have all the removal. So let's hope we draw into something good. I think we have to keep it. Let's see what we're playing against. Ooh, Land of War Elves. This is good. So I think we Memorial to Folly because we can Deadweight. The bird, right? You always bolt the bird. So if I had to guess, we're either playing a Mono Green Stompy or Golgari. We'll see what they drop next, and that'll be a big determining factor. Another green. Thorn Lieutenant. Okay. So Thorn Lieutenant is not great because if we target it, they're still going to end up with a little token afterwards. However, if we pull our Ritual of Soot, then it can be a lot better. And so we're going to pass the turn, see what they do. Alright, so we're definitely playing against Golgari. We'll take the 2 damage. And I think end of turn, we're going to try to cycle our hand, see what we can... Okay. Land of War Elf. So a Ritual of Soot's looking a lot better right now. And there it is. So what do we get rid of? I think we get rid of Moment of Craving. I think that's what we get rid of. Because we need the land. Cast Down can help us remove some of the bigger stuff. Moment of Craving. We have the Deadweight. I think Moment of Craving is what we need to get rid of. Alright. So the question is, do we get greedy and see if they commit, but the next thing they drop might be a 4-drop, at which point Ritual of Soot doesn't do as much? Or do we hope that they commit to something smaller? We could Treasure Map, beginning of their turn, beginning of their upkeep, Bolt the Bird. I think that's the better play. Pass the turn. And so we will cast down. Bolt the bird, right? That's always what we're aiming for here. Now the question is, do we get greedy on our upkeep and scry, or do we make sure we have the 4 lands to Ritual of Soot? And I think we get greedy, depending upon what they play next. Okay, Jade Light Ranger. All right. So it looks like they missed their land drop. They've got a bin. Yep, so they binned it, pulled a land. Okay. They probably will play that tapped. Yep. All right, so we got our land. So we should have scried. I misclicked the button. It's okay. It happens. And I think we Ritual of Soot. And at their end step, we'll probably scry. And then the beginning of ours, we'll scry again. Depending upon what we pull on the end of theirs. Okay. Merfolk Branch Walker's fine. They pull the land, so it stays small. Scry, end of our turn. See what we pull. So, a land. Do we need another land? No, I don't think we do. Then, so our turn, we untap, we scry again. Deadweight's good, I think. Yeah, Deadweight's good. So we can keep Deadweight on top. We'll draw Deadweight. Go to main. Deadweight the Branch Walker. And pass the turn. End of turn we can Gateway to see what we get, and then beginning of our end step, Direfleet Poisoner. Okay, that's fine. So we may end up gatewaying before, actually. I really don't want to exile. I don't want to exile a Contempt, but if we have to, we have to. They're gonna get in for 2, which isn't that big of a deal. Okay, and so they're gonna get back Thorn Lieutenant and Jade Light. So they're probably going to play the Jade Light. Yep, so we'll take 2, that's fine. Play the Jade Light. What are they top decking? A Golgari Queen, so we definitely want to keep Vraska. It's Contempt for that. So whatever we pull, we'll probably, yep, I'm going to have to bin. So we will scry. The ritual's nice. And so if we hold off a turn, they also have the Thorn Lieutenant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can play Vraska and Thorn Lieutenant. They get in for 6. We Contempt. We Ritual of Soot next turn, and then Contempt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do it. And so I think we're just going to pass the turn. So they're going to get in for 6. I would imagine play Thorn Lieutenant and Vraska. Yep, so there's the Thorn Lieutenant. And there's the Vraska. So they might sack Azor's Gateway. Yep, that's fine. I don't really want to do anything with it. So we will Vraska's Contempt. They would have got it off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They would have gotten the activation, so it's not that big of a deal. We will Ritual. Let's actually, you know what? Let's draw a card first. See what we draw. Okay, the land. play the land, play Ritual, sack their board, and then see what happens. Saproling Migration. That's an interesting card to see inside of Golgari, to be honest. All right, so we pulled another Gateway. So we're gonna sack that. So we got a Moment of Craving, which is nice. So we can Azor's Gateway. We can deadweight one of the Saprolings. So in a matchup like this, Fungal Infection would have been way better than Saproling Migration. We will then pass the turn, hold up priority when they go to attack so that we can Moment of Craving. Moment of Craving one of the Saprolings. And take 2. Play another Jade Light. They're going to bin that branch. Nope, they're going to keep it? Okay. Do we... Azor's Gateway. Whatever we pull, we're then going to have to exile with it, so I think that's not the case. Okay. So let's Azor's Gateway. Another land. So definitely bin a land. We'll pull a card with the treasure map. Okay, so that doesn't really help us here, to be honest. I mean, it does in the sense that it's a lot of mana that we can produce, but we have nothing to play with. So that's the problem. And we take 6, which isn't nice. So unless we have a way to stabilize this turn, which it doesn't look like we're going to. Nope. And that's a brick wall where we just flood out. Alright. Good game, opponent. Good game. Alright, so our opponent's going first. We've got 2 blacks, a Deadweight, 2 Moment of Cravings, a Josu Vest, which I don't love to see in our opening hand, and a Doom Whisperer. If we start pulling some lands, this might be good. We'll see what we're playing against. We'll keep it. It's kind of like an iffy hand, but I think if we mulligan, we would have been in a worse spot. So our opponent does mulligan, drops the top card. And it looks like we're playing against maybe a Dimir control deck. So blue and black discard, or possibly a Grixis deck. If it is blue and black discard, I'm expecting a Thought Erasure. Oh, Night Veil Sprite. So maybe a blue and black Surveil deck is what we're looking at. So I think... No, because then they'll untap. We might as well just do it now. Right, so I was trying to contemplate whether or not doing it at the beginning of their upkeep or to do it now, but if we did it at the beginning of their upkeep, they could have untapped and then had a counter, although I don't know if this deck even runs counters. Ah, now we're starting to pull some lands. That's nice. So we can never happen, see what's in their hand and pull something from it, which I think is kind of our only play at this point. So let's see what we're looking at. Okay. So, looks like we're going to remove dead weight. Not that it really affects us, but it's pretty much the only thing that we can remove from them right now. So we know they're kind of flooded out with land. And it might be another land that they have, and we're not much better off without lands this time. And until they start playing creatures, we can't really empty our hand. Okay. Pass the turn. This is just like a draw-go game. This is, you know, not exciting by any means. They're drawing their lands. We're drawing no lands. So they've got some creatures that they can play. Or it looks like they've got something that they can play. A Twilight Prophet, okay. So we could Moment of Craving and then Deadweight next turn. We'll see what we pull. Not a land. So I think that's probably our best bet, to be honest, because we don't really have much else to do. So we'll deadweight. And then we will Moment of Craving. It is a 2-for-1, but we're really not doing anything else right now. We're not using our mana. We're getting a full grip. We would have just had to discard cards at that point. So a 2-for-1 on my end, in my perspective, is okay. Thief of Sanity is fine. We have a Moment of Craving for that. And we have a Cast Down. And again, we are just not drawing lands. And so I would rather use the Moment of Craving on that than the Cast Down, because they might have something larger that I can't Moment of Craving later on. Another Thief of Sanity. And we're just going to remove... Oh, hey, look at that, people! A land! Isn't that nice? Just be more effective, right? So I don't think they have any way of getting their cards back short of an Eldest Reborn, which is fine. Land? Nope. Azor's Gateway. It's alright, I'll take it. And we'll pass the turn. So we will pass the turn. Game just froze, which is why the timeout happened. It is what it is. So end of their turn, we're gonna pull Azor, see what we can pull. A land, which is nice. So what do we want to get rid of? So they're gonna have answers for Doom Whisperer, but we have 2 of them. We actually have 4 of them. So I think that's a better bet right now. So we'll drop our land. So we can Eldest Reborn, but they have nothing, but we can get stuff back. We can Azor's Gateway, I think we'd never happened. Yeah, let's strip their hand, see what they're playing with. Deadweight, Chupacabra, okay. Deadweight does nothing for us, so we'll get rid of the Chupa, so they have no way of removing our Doom Whisperer. And end of their upkeep, end of their turn, we will pull with Azor's and see what we can pitch to it. Thought Erasure, ooh, that's fine. I would imagine they probably take the Doom Whisperer, if I had to guess. Either that or the Eldest Reborn, but I think the better play on their part is the Doom Whisperer. Either way, they're in a... Oh, they stole the Josu. Okay. That's fine. We have a second one, and we have Memorial to Follies in the deck. Azor's. There we go. Treasure Map. So we already pitched... What did we already pitch? We already pitched the Doom Whisperer for 5. So do we pitch the Contempt, or do we pitch the Treasure Map to draw the cards? I think we pitched the Treasure Map because we have 4 of them. Field of Ruin. And I think we Doom Whisperer, holding up 1 for Azor's Gateway at the end. So they can dead weight it, which is fine. Disinformation Campaign, okay. So I think we pitch Vraska's Contempt. So let's see, do they dead weight the Doom Whisperer? Doesn't look like it. So, that was not what I wanted to do. We're going to Surveil with the Doom Whisperer first. So land, land, land. We've pitched a land. Okay, so what we want to do is we don't want the Field of Ruin, because we already have one. We'll keep that. We'll then activate Azor's, pull the land, pitch the land. So now we have 3 cards. My turn. And there's another treasure map, which is nice. Go to combat, attack with the Doom Whisperer. end the turn. Their end step, we will scry with the treasure map, pull with the gateway. Okay, so there's the dead weight. That's fine. Alright, so let's scry with the treasure map. So we have a land, so we don't want the land. Let's surveil with the Doom Whisperer. Land, land. And now let's pull with the gateway. Another land. Alright, we'll pitch the land. So we've already pitched the land. It's not the ideal, but it is what it is. Memorial to Folly's great. So we'll keep that tapped. We'll attack in for 4. And then we will pass the turn. And again, we'll do the same thing, end step of theirs. Scry, surveil, pull. And so right now, we have 4 cards in exile. 3 different convert. Oh, and our opponent scoops. So we didn't get to go off by any means, but it doesn't look like they were pulling much. We got land screwed in the beginning, but at least we could pull it out in the end. So that worked out quite well. And honestly, that's a deck that could absolutely destroy us if they started pulling all of their discard and started their disinformation campaign and surveil chains, then we would have absolutely been destroyed. Alright, so we're in for another game. We have a 4-land hand, Azor's Ritual of Soot, and a dead weight. We do have Memorial to Folly, which we can play turn 1 since we are going first. It's not a bad hand, and honestly I think if we mulligan, we're probably going to be worse off. So let's keep it. See what our opponent does. What are we playing against? Guitar Spider? Let's see. So I think our play next turn is depending upon what they play first turn. If it's something like, okay, mono blue, opt, and they're going to keep it and draw it. So whatever they scried, they obviously liked. So I think we then play Azor so we can get it out onto the field. So Azor's is an interesting card. It's, you know, Azor's Gateway. It's good in the fact that it can help you filter your hand, right? So if you are kind of mana flooded, right, land flooded, you can help it to kind of filter that. If you do flip it, it can produce a lot of mana, which is nice, especially if you have like a big top end. So it works really well in stuff that has like large X spells like red. Warkite Marauder. Alright, so I think what we do here is we kind of just let it go. We don't need, we can take the 2, it's fine. We might be playing against mono blue tempo, at which point Ritual of Soot's really good. And so I think I just want to let them build their board. We can, you know, end of their turn Gateway to help filter our hand a little bit. I don't think Never happened. So Curious Obsession, okay. So not ideal. So we're going to Azor's now. Hopefully we can pull something like a, nope. Not what we wanted to pull. So I feel the Ruin's not going to do us any good here, so we can bin that. So the good news is we still have dead weight, and all they have is Spell Pierce. They're going to draw a card, which is fine. So they could negate. They can't Wizard Retort. So because we want to get rid of that Curious Obsession, we're going to dead weight. They can Spell Pierce, but Dive Down. Alright. So maybe we should have dove down first. That probably wouldn't have been, I mean, we probably should have never happened first. And then dead weighted. So I think we misplayed that. That way we could have stripped the Dive Down. Because now they can Spell Pierce that never happened. Okay. Another Curious Obsession, Djinn. So Tempest Djinn doesn't bother me. Curious Obsession really doesn't bother me. Merfolk Trickster, not great. Tempest Djinn. So I think I want to steal 1 Djinn. We're gonna let them commit to some board here. Because we do have the Ritual. I don't love them drawing cards because it gives them the opportunity to pull something that, you know, we don't get to use, but like if they pull a Spell Pierce and we don't have enough mana open, Okay, so the Storm Tamer's not great. Well, Storm Tamer doesn't really matter, actually, now that I think about it. So do we Karn and start pulling cards? I think that's kind of the play. And then we can Azors at the end of their turn. Okay. So they're playing smart by not committing too much to the board. Okay, there we go. So we'll Gateway. Treasure Map. I'm going to get rid of our other Gateway because we don't need it. Draw a land. And there's the land. So now they can't Spell Pierce. They can't Wizard's Retort. And we'll Treasure Map. So they still have a Jhin. They still have... Oh, no, they don't. I stripped the other Jhin. But they have the Trickster, and they have the Curious Obsession. Okay. So we have a dead weight. They might have a Spell Pierce or a Dive Down. So let's Scry. And then Gateway. So they'll land. So we've already been to land, so we don't want that. And then we'll Gateway. So Moment of Craving's nice. We already have a 2 underneath there. So I think we can get rid of Dead Weight for the 1. And then they might have the Wizard's Retort. But I think we play it and get rid of the Trickster. We're going to do it. Now's the time. Do they have it? They have it. Oh, Dive Down. Okay. That's fine. I'd rather them use it now than later on. To be honest. Yep. Curious Obsession. So we're going to take 4. Not great. Alright, so we definitely need to scry. Don't want the land. Definitely need to pull a card. Karn's good, so we can drop the land. We can drop the land. Play the Karn. Retorted? Spell Pierced. Oh, man. All the counters. So we'll go down to 2. This might just be GG. Oh. Or it might not. So let's Ritual now. See if they have an answer for it. Why would you tap all 4 black? That just seems stupid. Nice. And then we will Treasure Map. Doom Whisperer. Do we want Doom Whisperer? I think we do. Right? So we keep that on top and we don't Azors. Flip Treasure Map. And pass the turn. So we'll see if Doom Whisperer lands. Yep, which is great. We will then draw a card. Alright, so we have a land. What do we have in exile? We only have 3 cards with converted mana costs. Okay, so let's Azors. Nope, that's not going to help us. And we will pass the turn. So we can't Surveil with the Doom Whisperer. And another land. Alright, so let's treasure map. Draw a card. Then we will Azor all the lands. This is why Azor's is so nice. Memorial to Folly. Exile a card. Play Memorial to Folly because it comes in tapped. Attack with the Doom Whisperer because if they have Trickster, we're dead anyway. Yep. And there it is. Alright, so the only thing we can do, if we tap the Arch, we blow up our last treasure, we have no way of out, so that's pretty much good game. We have no lands now to even do anything if it wanted to. Eldest Reborn does us no good. They get in for 2. And that's it. We just took too much and couldn't stabilize early enough. It is what it is. Alright, so we've got 3 lands. It never happened. Ritual of Soot. So, I mean, if we're not up against aggro, it's a good hand. Which I highly doubt. Let's hope we can stem the flow, pull a 4th land, and Ritual of Soot.
Naiad token deck from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I feel like card for card. That's what I. That's what I just saw.
All right. Pass the turn. Playing against Golgari maybe, or Mono Green Stompy. Another Land of War Elves. Alright, well, we're pulling our lands. Now, if only we could pull other things to help get us to where we need to be. So the good news is we do have Vraska's Contempt for a 4-drop that they may drop here, but we may not survive long enough to actually pull it, so there's that. And it's Golgari. So we gotta watch out for Fine Brokers, Eldest Reborns, Fine Finalities, Goreclaw. That's an interesting inclusion in this deck. Maybe Golgari big stuff. And all the Mana Flood. One more turn will never happen. See what we can pull from their hand. Again, never happens nice because we can pull stuff. Bone Dragon. Interesting. Chupa, we have an answer for. Land of War Elves is fine. So we'll exile the Bone Dragon. That way they can't possibly pull it back. Their other Land of War, which is fine. Like we're hoping for some large board here. Memorial to Folly we can't play right now, but we can play Ritual of Soot. We will take some extra damage next turn, but then we can Eldest Reborn or Vraska's Contempt. Go down to 6. Or we cannot cast down, so we will Eldest Reborn. get some value out of it. I think next turn we Memorial to Folly. Dusk Legion Zealot's fine. Josu's nice, but not quite yet. They're going to pitch the Chupa. So we play Memorial to Folly. We'll hold up the cast down. We will not play Josu. Jade Light's fine. We can cast it down. So it doesn't get very big. They pulled 2 lands out of it. That's impressive. We'll take 1 from the Dusk Legion. I actually think we might want the Jade Light out of this. Ravenous isn't bad. Goreclaw's okay. We don't really have... I mean, we do. And I wonder if we can kick it and still decrease its cost. You know what? I think it might be better a brick to put up Goreclaw. So let's do that. Let's steal their own Goreclaw. Why not? And we'll pass the turn. They might have an answer for it. They're stuck on black right now. That's fine. We just get to do this.
I despise tyrants like you. I'll be taking that.
They'll get in for 1. I was trying to see if we have anything in our own graveyard that we could recur yet, but we don't. Alright, so we're up to 8. We're almost at Josu, but not quite there yet. We could play him out now as a 4-3 to kind of stem the... 4-5 actually, I think? 4-5 to stem the tide. If he dies, we then get to Memorial of Folly and then kick it. But I think right now we're okay. Let's see what happens. Alright, Ravenous, Chupacabra. So we go down to 5. Our opponent's thinking on whether or not to play their last card, I guess. Alright, so we got a Contempt, which is nice. They'll gain us some life, so we're going to pass the turn. Alright, so we're up to 9. We need 1 more to kick Josu. So depending upon what they play... So they're going to go for the Eldest Reborn. So let's do this. Exile their Chupa. So if we draw a land next turn, then we can kick Josu and go home. Come on. Show me the land. Show me the land. Come on. Not the land. We want to keep Ritual of Soot because next turn we're going to have to discard a card. And so that's why we'll keep Ritual. Alright. I don't know why full control just became enabled. I did not enable that. Alright, opponent. There we go. So we discard Ritual of Soot because we want to keep Josu. Resolve. Discard Ritual. See what they play. We're really just hoping for a land. That's all we're looking for next turn. One land. That's all we need. He's going to get in for 1. We go down to 5. There are 17 cards in this deck out of 43 that could draw us the card that we want. And that is simply a land. As long as it's not a Memorial to Folly. So, don't know what the opponent's doing. Anytime now, opponent. Come on, you can do it. Close the Reddit screen. I'm not on Twitch, not streaming. You can't snipe me. They might be bugging out. I honestly don't know. Normally I'd say it's me, but I can still do things, so it's not on me. That thumping is so terrifying. They have 1 timeout left, still going down. I think they disconnected. I think that's what happened. I'm just going to let this play out, I guess. Timed out. And they had to scoop. And I'm pretty sure they just disconnected. So, not how we want to win, but technically it's a win. Alright, so our opponent goes first. We have 3 lands to cast down. It never happened. A Ritual of Soot. So we've got some anti-aggro tools. We've got a Karn to do card draw. And we've got a never happening because we go up against control. Looks like a pretty decent hand. Ooh, Memorial to Folly is going out first. So it looks like we're on against mono blue tempo maybe. Nope, blue green Simic Merfolk. It's an interesting build. Haven't seen anything like this in a while. So do we try to drop the treasure map now, or do we never happened and see what they have in their hand and anticipate a counter like a Sinister Sabotage? I think we never happened, but yeah, I think it's a good play. Let's see what we're up against. Unless, of course, they counter it. Nope. Oh, we're up against a Bant Fog deck. Oh, okay. So, let's see. Settle the Wreckage doesn't really bother me. Ixalan's Binding kind of does, and Pause for Reflection's fine. So we're up against a Bant Fog deck. I didn't know this deck still existed. I mean, I guess it does. That makes sense, right? But do we pull it again? No, because all they have is Pause for Reflection and Settle the Wreckage that we know about. So I think we drop the treasure map. Pass the turn. We'll scry at the end of their turn. A Teferi. Woo!
I won't hide from the world any longer. We need to move quickly.
So Eldest Reborn's going to be real nice here if we can get it to stick. So let's look for a land. Boom, we've got the land. Love it. So let's hope this Eldest Reborn lands. We're going to find out. Boom, and it lands. Goodbye to Fury. And our opponent scoops. So I literally haven't seen Bant Turbo Fog since like Dominaria, so I'm surprised that that came about, but I'll take the win. Alright, so we're going first with a 4-land hand, 2 Vraska's Contempt, and Eldest Reborn. No early aggro. We're going to have to mulligan that. Hopefully we get something better. That's a little bit better. Dead Weight, Treasure Map. Yeah, we can keep that. Memorial to Folly can stay, especially since we're going first. Probably should have dropped that to the bottom, but that's okay. We have some early aggro tools. We have Treasure Map for some draw. We have Karn. Looks like we're playing against Golgari possibly. We definitely want the turn 2 Treasure Map, so we'll put that out. Next turn, since we don't really have a turn 3 play, we'll do Memorial to Folly. Alright, and another Dead Weight. And I think we just pass the turn, scry on the back end of their turn. What are we playing against? Big Stuff Green? Mono Green Stompy? Elvish Rejuvenator. Looks like it. So we'll scry, see what we can pull to the top. A Josu, we don't want you just yet. You're going to be dead in hand, and we don't have the mana or anywhere close to having the mana. So I'm going to shuffle you to the bottom. A Cabal Stronghold now. That's along the lines of what we wanted to see. We could play out Karn. We play out Karn. We pull a card. I think that might be good, actually. Either that, or we just pass the turn and wait, and then Eldest Reborn next turn. Hope he doesn't play anything big. Or Dead Weight this turn, then Eldest Reborn next turn. Do we Karn or do we Dead Weight? I think we go greedy and we go Karn. Alright. We got some lands. That's fine. They'll give me the swamp. So depending upon... So he's going to play the Jade Light Ranger. Okay. And a Rabid Bite. So that messed up a little bit. In the sense that we should have, at this point, dead weighted, right? Because then... Well, no. I mean, well, we have another Eldest Reborn. So that's nice. But let's see what Karn gets us. Okay. Let's see what they give us. Either we wipe their board or we play a Doom Whisperer. They don't really have many good options, to be honest. They gave us the ritual. Alright. So if that's the case, we'll clear the board. And then we'll scry at the end of their turn. A Carney T? Oh, that'd be so sad if I didn't have Eldest Reborn. Alright, so let's scry. Moment of Craving can go to the bottom. We don't need that. Another treasure map. That's nice. You know what? Let's Karn first. I think, yeah, this is what we want to do. Okay. They'll probably give us the land, which is fine. We can play it. Yep. And Eldest Reborn. Goodbye, Carnage Tyrant. And we will... Oh, and our opponent scoops. Next turn, we would have flipped the treasure map, created some artifact tokens, gotten back the Carnage Tyrant, and it would have been game. I mean, mono green has real tough time dealing with planeswalkers. Enchantments they can deal with, but planeswalkers not so much. Alright, so we're going first. We have quite the interesting hand, right? We have a 4-land hand with a Cast Down, Josu, and a Doom Whisperer. We are going first, so we can play Memorial to Fall to start. Not great hand to play with, but we'll keep it. The deck has not been performing super well, unfortunately, but could be because of my plays, could have been because of the hands that I kept. Honestly, could just be the deck. You know, when the deck goes off, it's a lot of fun to play, but when it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll pass the turn. We'll see what they play. They'll probably get in for 1, which is fine. Snubhorn, that's interesting. And a Dauntless Bodyguard. So this can give Indestructible to something. So do we kill the Vanguard now? I think we kill the Vanguard now. And another land. 26 lands in this deck may be too much. Might be too much. Tajik. So, right now, a sweeper would be real nice. So that Ritual of Soot would be quite great right about now. Another Dauntless Bodyguard. Taking a lot of damage. That is not a Ritual of Soot. So we can Doom Whisperer. Kind of hold off. Stem the flow, but then they can possibly Justice Strike, Ixalan's Binding. We could Karn and pull a card. We could Eldest Reborn and make them sack something. But they'll probably just sack the Bodyguard. I think we'll Doom Whisperer. Just to put out a blocker. Unless, of course, they Justice Strike, at which point it looks like they have something. Or a Conclave Tribunal. We can't afford to take the damage, right? 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. Go down to 3. That's not going to work. And once again, we did not pull what we needed. And we are dead on board. Alright, so let's take a look at the deck. The deck did okay. It went 4-3, not great, but it did alright. There were some things in there that I probably would have swapped out. Like Deadweight was nice, but I actually think Fungal Infection's better. It's funny because I did play the deck a little bit with Fungal Infection and then decided to swap it out for Deadweight, and I think I'd actually like to go back to Fungal Infection. If I can spell fungal correctly. And then, never happened. You know, I put it in there to kind of strip hands, you know, for when we needed to. I'm not sure it actually did what I wanted it to do. And I'm not sure that it really, right, it was in there for exiling against Golgari and stuff like that, and I'm not sure it really did that for us. I almost wish, I don't know if Never Happen's the correct move, or maybe something like Golden Demise is a better move for the meta, you know, especially in best of one where we face a lot of aggro decks. I think Golden Demise might be better. You know, whether or not we would want 3 of them, that's another thing I'm not quite sure about. But with only 3 Ritual of Soot, I think 3 Golden Demise might be right. Might be better to go down 2 Golden Demise and go maybe up 1 Cast Down. Or maybe down a Golden Demise, up a Karn. Maybe somewhere around there. Another possibility, instead of Josu, we could always try Bells and Lock and see how that plays. But Josu's really there for like when we have an, you know, Sanctum of the Sun or a Cabal Stronghold, and we can kick it, you know, early and drop a ton of damage on the board. Bells and Lock just helps us draw cards, basically, which, to be honest, we have plenty of ways to do that between Karn, between Treasure Map, between Gateway, you know, and even Eldest Reborn we're getting cards back. Actually, we might go down 1 Golden Demise and go up 1 Bloodfast. Run it that way. Bloodfast is great against control, but terrible against aggro. So that might not be the right case either. I think if I were to rerun this, I'd rerun it this way. 3 Fungal Infection, 2 Cast Down, 3 Moment of Craving, 2 Azors, 4 Treasure Map. The Golden Demise to really help wipe the board and just do more creature removal, which we see in the best of one meta a lot more than anywhere else. 2 Josus, the Ritual of Soot, the Contempts, the Karns. Again, the only thing I might do is drop 1 Golden Demise and go for another Karn. Doom Whisperer, Eldest Reborn, and then the mana base was pretty strong. Memorial to Folly we didn't really get to use. Wish we did. Cabal Stronghold we didn't get to kick off either. I originally had 3 in the deck, but I think that's too many. I think 2 is just enough because you really only want 1 per game. Arch can help draw cards later on in Field of Ruin in case somebody drops like a Memorial to Folly or a, you know, Search for Azcanta. So, yeah, I mean, the deck did okay. I didn't expect it to do great. It's super grindy. It can be a lot of fun, and it's a different take. So we do have a pack we can go open, so let's go. Let's do that. Just see what we pull. Anything good? Anything good? Ooh, a rare that we don't have yet. Swarm Guildmage. It's kind of neat. We did get a uncommon wild card out of it, but what do we... Chromatic Lantern. We only have 3 of those, so actually that's pretty good. I don't know if I'd want a deck with 4, but it's definitely good to have 4 of, so I'll take it. Alright guys, well that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the mono black control deck. If you guys have any critiques on it, by all means please let me know. I'll be more than happy to replay this later on with a revised deck list if you guys think there are revisions that should be made. But other than that, if you like the video, definitely hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, think about hitting subscribe. Make sure you crush that little notification bell so that you guys know then when we post new videos. But other than that, guys, that's about it for this video. Take it easy. I'll see you guys next time.